ladies and gentlemen, that was another medical school interview that I just had. That was my 6th interview of the cycle. I actually declined one, so technically 5th. You meet so many interesting people in these interviews. One guy that's in his 2nd year is a 43-year-old former physician assistant of 17 years in critical care. But I did speak with an oncologist and a pediatrician and an emergency medicine doctor. So it's really nice meeting 3 different doctors, 3 different interviews, all 20 to 30 minutes each. It's a conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I am not nervous at all. Getting nervous for interviews doesn't make any sense to me. I've got 4,000 clinical hours, publications. In fact, for the information session, I couldn't really help but think of anything except Brighton and Hove Albion. Without further ado, let's begin with the commentary. Such a lovely fella, ain't he? Almost 1,300 people voted in my last poll. Thank you all so much for voting, as Rafinha has taken the crown with over 70% of the votes as the Ballon d'Or winner so far. Well deserved. In terms of comparison, Brighton and City aren't necessarily having 2 completely different seasons. One has slightly more wins, while the other has slightly more defeats. Both teams come in with 7 clean sheets and around the same in terms of goals conceded per match. In terms of the head-to-head history, City have won 13, while Brighton have 2. But of course, this is football. None of this stuff really matters too much, especially if you have game changers in your squad. Looking at the forms of both teams, it's making this tie a little bit scary in my opinion. In our last 5 games, Manchester City is reminding me of pre-2008, while Brighton have completely bounced back from their shocking 7-0 defeat with 5 very impressive wins. Let's meet some of the key players, shall we? Abdulkadir Husanov, our Uzbekenbauer, who was the most adorable baby that has ever existed. It's also cool to see that I'm pretty sure that's his younger brother wearing Manchester City socks, almost like it was meant to be. Fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, in this very old photo of Abdulkadir Husanov, he is actually stronger than present-day Rico Lewis. Mitoma, an anime character brought to life with his scintillating dribbling skills, especially in one-on-one scenarios. Sorry, my bad. For the people that don't understand, 1v1s are basically like, hey, I'm not a scared little bitch and actually want to take my man on for once in my fucking life because, you know, this is a sport and we're men. Philip Foden, the most protected player on the pitch, apparently should have been unhappy with the sub, and rightfully so because he was creating so many big chances, or in this case, crossing the ball into the box from the left-hand side. Any football player can do that, and he was growing more into the game. Bro, you're supposed to be doing that from minute 1, not the bloody 70th minute. Baleba, the answer to the question, what if Kobe Mainu was actually good? Bernardo Silva, the football version of that one kid in a triad that doesn't put any of the work in a group project and still gets the bloody A. Joao Pedro, a discount version of Gabriel Jesus, but is still somehow outperforming him this season. Joško Gvardiol, a player that no matter what he achieves, will always be remembered as the guy that got destroyed by Lionel Messi. Van Hecke, you know what, he's pretty good. I got nothing to say about him. And last but not least, Omar Marmoush, an Egyptian player with actual watchable highlights that ruined his career by joining Manchester City. Thank you, Pep Guardiola. Would you just play him and bench Bernardo for fuck's sake? Now, in terms of Brighton's lineup, this was the last lineup in their 2-1 victory at home against Fulham. And the first thing that I want to highlight is Brighton have a variety of different play styles that I've seen utilized. They have a lot of hold-up play styles, especially with Danny Welbeck up front. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be starting this game. We could very well see someone like João Pedro drop in with Reuter on the bench with Danny Welbeck coming in. But I do think that João Pedro is going to be the starting striker there. Regardless, they love to stretch out the play with their wingers. Their wingers are absolutely sensational, ladies and gentlemen. They're fast, they're tenacious, they know how to dribble, and they love taking players on 1v1. We have something very similar. The difference here is that they have bombarding and overlapping fullbacks, especially with Estupiñán. Estupiñán is fast, he's strong, he's powerful, he's got a knack for goal. He can deliver those crosses in those danger areas for someone like Reuter, João Pedro, especially Danny Welbeck, to get on the end of those crosses. In my opinion, one of the most underrated players, especially in this Brighton team, is Ayari, the Swedish 21-year-old midfielder. He's around 5'8" tall, 5'8", 5'9", basically my height. And the thing is, he is very good at that box-to-box play. He's very good on the ball. His technical ability is very good. I have seen on multiple occasions Ayari grabbing the ball from Van Hecke or Estupiñán and placing those crisp passes in between two different defenders and including a midfielder to the oncoming runners of Mitoma and Minte. And of course, we can't talk about Brighton and not mention their player of the season, Baleba, who is poised to be making a £100 million move. He's really tall, he's powerful, and he has the flair and technical ability, all right, of a 27-year-old veteran. He is very, very good. Looking at their defense, I don't really see too many changes from this lineup to what we're about to see at the Etihad in 2 days' time. I do think that Van Hecke, he is 24 years old, the Dutch 24-year-old. I do believe that he is Brighton's best defender, especially this season. Van Hecke, he's strong, he's powerful, he's got an eye for those headers, especially in those corners. Brighton do have a lot of attacking threat in terms of aerial duels, so crosses into those boxes from Estupiñán and corner kicks are going to be very dangerous. This was the lineup that Manchester City had in our 1-0 loss against Nottingham Forest. And the first thing that I want to mention is I don't really think we should change the back line. I do believe that Matheus Nunes should be our right back, especially given the pace of Kaoru Mitoma, especially given the overlapping runs of Estupiñán. I think Matheus Nunes needs to have a monster game in front of the Etihad faithful. The rest of the back line speaks for itself. Abdulkadir Husanov, Ruben Diaz, Joško Gvardiol, obviously. Nico Gonzalez has to be inside the middle of the park, no questions to be asked. I do think that Foden and Bernardo Silva should be dropped this game. I cannot say that enough. They both need to be dropped. Will Pep Guardiola do that? No, because he has his favorites. Omar Marmoush, people are saying he ruined his career coming to Manchester City, and to be honest, I don't really have anything to say to that because he's not playing as much as he should have. He should have started against Nottingham Forest. This might be controversial because it didn't quite work out as well as we would have liked, but I still want to see the combination of Jeremy Doku and Savinho for this game. I do think that at the Etihad Stadium, all right, with the amount of possession that we're going to be having in this game, I do think that Savinho and Jeremy Doku can definitely punish Estupiñán and Hinchelwood off the counter. I need Erling Braut Haaland to score this game. It is an Etihad game. I am definitely very, very hopeful of the 3 points, especially if Erling Braut Haaland can get inside and score a couple of goals in this match. He has done that against Brighton several times. Yes, everybody remembers that viral moment where he just completely knocked down, I think it was Adam Webster. He's not a small guy, or he's not like me. He's like 6'3". Erling Haaland needs to break his duck this game. I think that is one of the most important things that needs to come out of this game. Now, in terms of my overall thoughts for this game and the score prediction that I'm going to be giving you, I do believe that we are going to be winning this game. I fully back the boys to win this game. If Phil Foden is going to be starting this game, it's not like I'm going to completely throw in the towel and give up. No, I'm not going to give up on my players. Phil Foden can come in and do the business. However, I want to see Omar Marmoush start this game. That is the number one thing that I want to see in this game. Omar Marmoush in the starting lineup. They've got a lot of great threats. Ruter is strong, he's powerful, he's an amazing ball carrier. Minte and Mitoma on the wing is just absolutely frightening, obviously with Estupiñán, and they've got some great defenders in Van Hecke, and an amazing goalkeeper as well. And Baleba and Yadi are an amazing partnership as well. They have a lot of threats. However, I think the desperate need for 3 points from Pep Guardiola's side is going to propel Manchester City to the 3 points today. They will score. I think that this is going to be a goal fest. I don't think this is going to be a 1-0. I, for some reason, see Manchester City winning this game by 4-2. Yes, Manchester City are going to be winning this game by 4-2. Erling Braut Haaland with 2 goals. Nico Gonzalez is going to get a goal. Omar Marmoush is going to get a goal if he starts this game. And for Brighton, I'm going to say Mitoma, and I'm going to say Ruter with the second goal. I am excited for this game, though I am very cautious because I always respect my opponents, and they have some incredibly dangerous players. Brighton and Hove Albion, such a sensational side, amazing grit to come back from that 7-0 from Nottingham Forest and win 5 games off the bounce. Incredible stuff. Let me know your predictions for today's match, and of course, thank you all so much for watching.